Imagine a single 5-minute speech delivered in the heart of global diplomacy, within the hallowed halls of an international forum in Geneva. A speech so potent, so unexpected in its raw honesty, that it didn't just shift political discourse or make headlines. It fundamentally ruined the life of a powerful World Bank leader. Have you ever witnessed how quickly someone's carefully built career, years in the making, can crumble in an instant due to unforeseen events or powerful words? How much power can a mere few minutes of unfiltered truth, spoken at the right moment, truly hold in the complex world of international finance and politics? This is the story of just such a moment. Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso delivered a 5-minute address at a major global development forum in Geneva, and this brief, impactful speech had a direct, devastating impact on the career and life of World Bank Vice President Marcus Thorne. What exactly was contained within those 5 minutes that made it so incredibly impactful? Who was Marcus Thorne, a figure seemingly at the peak of his power, and what made him so vulnerable to words spoken from a podium? How did a speech delivered thousands of miles away in Geneva lead to the professional ruin of a powerful figure's life? And what does this shocking moment reveal about the rapidly shifting dynamics between entrenched global institutions and assertive national leaders determined to speak their truth? Stay with us as we uncover the full story of this 5-minute earthquake in Geneva and its shocking, far-reaching aftermath. If the idea of powerful words, unexpected consequences, and the hidden vulnerabilities of global power structures intrigues you, hit that like button right now and subscribe to Magnificent Story for more deep dives into the political trends shaping our world. Our story unfolds in Geneva, a city globally recognized as a crucial hub for international diplomacy and the intricate world of global finance. It was here that the annual Global Development Forum was taking place, a high-profile gathering that convenes heads of state, ministers, and, significantly, the key architects of international financial policy. Among these powerful figures was Vice President Marcus Thorne, a man whose ascent within the World Bank had been remarkably swift and successful. Thorne was not just another executive, he was the driving force and public face behind the bank's ambitious new flagship initiative, a multi-billion-dollar program focused on sustainable resource management in Africa. This program was designed with the stated aim of partnering with African nations to ensure they benefited equitably from their vast mineral wealth. Thorne was widely seen as polished, articulate, and deeply respected within the influential corridors of power in both Washington and Geneva. This initiative was poised to be his defining legacy, a project he believed would not only transform resource management but also propel his own career to even greater heights within the institution. As the forum began, Thorne felt a profound sense of confidence in his program and his established role as a pivotal figure in shaping global financial policy. Amidst the seasoned diplomats and financial powerhouses converging in Geneva, a different kind of figure arrived, one who immediately stood out from the typical delegate. This was Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. He came not seeking traditional aid or validation from the established global order, but as a leader who had rapidly become a potent symbol of a new, assertive African leadership. Captain Traore was widely known for his direct, often unvarnished critiques of external interference in African affairs and his passionate, unwavering calls for African nations to seize control of their own destinies and, crucially, their own vast natural resources. His presence alone injected an unpredictable element into the carefully choreographed environment of the forum, generating significant buzz among attendees and observers alike. Veteran reporter Kwame Mensah, covering African affairs, and analyst Sofia Petrova, specializing in the intersection of geopolitics and economics, were among those keenly anticipating what this unconventional leader might say. The stage was set, and Captain Traore was scheduled to speak during a session specifically focused on partnerships for inclusive growth, a topic that, given his stance, promised to be anything but routine. The moment arrived during the Partnerships for Inclusive Growth session. As Captain Ibrahim Traore walked to the podium, the usual polite hum of the conference room faded, replaced by a palpable shift in energy. Unlike the preceding speakers, who relied on polished presentations and teleprompters, Traore carried only a few handwritten notes. He began not with the expected pleasantries, but with a stark, almost unsettling silence that stretched for a few seconds, capturing the complete focus of everyone present. Then, in a voice that was calm yet carried immense weight and conviction, he began to speak. He didn't delve into complex economic models or detailed policy proposals. Instead, he spoke of the earth of Burkina Faso, rich with gold and other minerals, a wealth that had flowed outwards for generations while his people continued to face poverty and insecurity. He spoke of agreements signed in distant capitals, often under duress or with terms that disproportionately benefited external entities. He spoke of aid packages that came with burdensome strings attached. The impact of Captain Ibrahim Traore's 5-minute speech did not remain confined to the conference hall in Geneva for long. Within hours of its delivery, clips of his address began circulating rapidly online, spreading like wildfire across social media platforms and quickly picked up by news outlets that rarely devoted significant coverage to development forums. Its raw power, the simplicity of its message, and the stark contrast between Traore's unfiltered delivery and the often formal setting made it instantly compelling and easily shareable for a global audience. Inevitably, commentators and journalists began dissecting the speech, connecting Traore's powerful critique to specific programs and initiatives championed by the very institutions present in Geneva. Veteran reporter Kwame Mensah, known for his insightful coverage of African affairs, highlighted the stark contrast between Traore's grassroots perspective and the often abstract language of international finance, noting how the speech seemed to directly challenge the assumptions behind large-scale resource management programs like the one led by Vice President Marcus Thorne. Analyst Sofia Petrova, specializing in the intersection of geopolitics and economics, provided sharp analysis on news panels, explaining how Traore's words tapped into a deep well of frustration across the global south regarding resource exploitation and the perceived failures of traditional development models championed by institutions like the World Bank. This widespread analysis and connection of Traore's points to Thorne's initiative created a significant public relations nightmare for the World Bank, suddenly finding its flagship program framed by critics as another example of the very system Traore had so powerfully condemned. Back at the World Bank headquarters, the initial public relations firestorm triggered by Captain Traore's speech quickly gave way to a period of intense internal turmoil and damage control. Senior executives, facing mounting pressure from member nations and concerned stakeholders, quietly initiated an internal review of Vice President Marcus Thorne's flagship program for sustainable resource management in Africa. While there was no immediate evidence of outright corruption or illegal activity, the political fallout from Traore's accusations demanded a thorough examination of the program's structure, its partnerships, and its overall effectiveness. As the review progressed, Marcus Thorne found himself increasingly on the defensive, spending less time promoting his initiative and more time in closed-door meetings, meticulously defending its design, its contractual arrangements with external companies, and its projected outcomes against the sharp, simple narrative fueled by Traore's speech. The atmosphere within the World Bank shifted perceptibly. Colleagues who had previously lauded Thorne's work and sought his counsel, like Dr. Lena Hansen, a senior economist known for her expertise in African development, now approached him with a mixture of cautious sympathy or, in some cases, a distinct coolness that spoke volumes. The sense of confidence and invincibility that Thorne had possessed just weeks before began to erode, replaced by a gnawing anxiety and the unsettling feeling that he was rapidly losing control of the narrative surrounding his life's work. The ruin of Marcus Thorne's life wasn't a sudden, dramatic collapse involving legal indictments or public scandals. Instead, it was a more subtle, yet equally devastating professional dismantling, a gradual erosion of his power, influence, and reputation within the World Bank and the broader international community. The internal review, while not uncovering any outright corruption or illegal activities, began to reveal a series of uncomfortable truths that aligned disturbingly with Captain Traore's initial critique. The program's contractual arrangements with several large multinational corporations were found to be excessively complex and opaque, raising questions about transparency and equitable benefit sharing. Furthermore, the review highlighted the alarmingly slow pace at which funds were actually reaching local communities in Burkina Faso and other participating nations, undermining the program's stated goal of directly improving the lives of ordinary citizens. As these findings emerged, the direct consequences for Marcus Thorne became increasingly apparent. His planned promotion to a more senior leadership position within the World Bank was quietly put on hold indefinitely. Invitations to speak at prestigious international forums and conferences, which had once flooded his inbox, began to dry up completely. Media outlets that had previously sought his expert opinion on development issues now frequently quoted Captain Traore's speech as a counterpoint to the World Bank's official narrative, casting Thorne in an increasingly negative light. Ultimately, Marcus Thorne was effectively sidelined within the organization. His flagship program was significantly restructured, its leadership handed over to a less prominent figure with a mandate to pursue a less ambitious, more locally focused approach. Thorne himself was reassigned to a less visible, less influential role within the World Bank, a clear signal that his once bright star had begun to fade. In summary, Our journey through this story has taken us from the high-stakes environment of the Geneva Forum to the unexpected impact of Captain Ibrahim Traore's 5-minute speech, culminating in the professional downfall of World Bank Vice President Marcus Thorne. This event serves as a stark reminder that a brief, powerful message delivered from an unexpected source can indeed have devastating consequences, even for a figure operating at the highest levels of global finance. It underscores the unexpected and potent power of a direct, human message in the often impersonal world of global politics. This moment is also deeply connected to broader political trends we are witnessing: the rise of assertive African leadership, a willingness to challenge traditional power structures, and the crucial fight for narrative control on the international stage. What does this moment tell us about who truly holds power in global conversations? Can a single speech, just 5 minutes long, genuinely dismantle years of carefully constructed work and reputation? Share your thoughts and insights on this surprising turn of events in the comments below. The world of political trends is full of these hidden power dynamics and unexpected turns. Don't miss our future investigations and analyses. Make sure you're subscribed to Magnificent Story and have notifications turned on so you don't miss out. Thank you for watching.